Fellow kind of was like a lucky stumble for me. When I moved back from school, I was sort of working out of coffee shops and sort of still thinking if I could actually make a freelance career work, and so the momentum was sort of draining. You know, you're feeling like you're encroaching on businesses a little bit more. You can't bounce ideas off people. You don't have as much of like that social interaction that's just kind of nice throughout a day and to like associate with a workspace. And so Fellow's kind of given me that, like you can come here and just really focus, you know, and just work, but you also kind of just have that community going on around you that if you'd like to interact or kind of bounce ideas off people, it's there.
Everybody that's in here has got a really interesting story to tell and is clearly people with a lot of initiative and vision for doing, you know, whatever it is that they're passionate about or what they're pursuing. The people who are ending up in here are people who are, you know, staking their claim and setting out a path on their own. And I get a lot of energy from that. And then it's also really interesting because it is a pretty diverse group of people. So the kind of water cooler conversations you have with people at the office, you're hearing really different and unique perspectives that you might otherwise not get. So that diversity of background and just people's story makes this a pretty engaging place to be.
I went to school in Montana, and so, you know, co-working's kind of, it's definitely grabbing on in the larger cities like Portland and Seattle. I think have tons of co-working spaces opening up, but it was something I was kind of totally not aware to look for in Spokane, and so I'm incredibly lucky that it's sort of been here. I started out really informally, you know, like just kind of testing the waters, and like I just kind of came in a few times to just sort of scope it out. It's just sort of been on a steady uphill, I guess, sort of with how I've sort of been evolving my membership, and I've been coming in more and more days, and they've just been really accommodating that way because they understand kind of the lifestyle of a freelancer and, you know, independent contractors that come and go, and so it sort of has to evolve with that.
The flexibility and kind of set of options that are afforded here are really unique to if I, you know, wanted to go out and get a more traditional office space, I'd be looking at a year lease and a higher price and certain pieces of resources and infrastructure that I'd either be paying for or having to go out and, you know, find on my own. That here I can say, you know, on a monthly basis, I can say I want to spend a month in here and get access to all of that in a way that's really an efficient thing for me to do.
I guess what sort of surprised me, you know, once I started coming to Fellow more regularly is just, you know, all the amazing things that are happening here, you know, and all the people, the projects that are going on and all the kind of positive change that people are working on here for Spokane and in a wider reach. And so it's just sort of contagious. Like you know, you build those relationships, and then it's led to more work for me, and just having that creative community all around to like collaborate with. Co-working, I think, really enables that by building the community and offering the space where those kind of connections can grow and those relationships can be fostered and like it can get extended further and further.
When I kind of reflect on what I see to be valuable about this space, it has more to do with my kind of broader experiences as a Spokaneite and a resident of the city and somebody who's tries to be pretty engaged with the community and is fascinated by where things are going and where we're coming from. And it's just really exciting for me to see projects like Fellow take shape and the work that's being done in a space like Fellow. I think this is just such a terrific time to be in Spokane. There's just a lot of really good energy right now, and I think to make good use of that energy and to harness it, it's so important to have the right structures in place to really, like, you know, frame out those efforts and to give good direction and clarity. And so I'm really optimistic as I see more things providing that level of structure as there are just more and more conversations of people saying, you know, what, in my professional life and my personal life, what is it that I can do to help make the Spokane community its best possible self? So I'm really grateful that Fellow exists for those reasons, that there are places that are providing an environment and a structure for people to hone that energy and that drive.
Fellow has really kind of just offered me that room to grow and provided me kind of the motivation to keep doing this, just because, you know, coming back to Spokane, I just wasn't even sure what the lay of the land kind of looked like here, you know, for design and the arts, and Fellow, like, not only has given me a really, really nice place to work and just be focused, but it's also just really opened my eyes to just everything that's kind of being offered in the city now and given me a really great avenue to get involved. And so for that, I'm probably the most thankful.
Again, I think this is a great space to be enterprising in that, and aspirational in your vision. That this is a place and a moment where if you've got an idea that you're passionate about, there's just a lot of open room to go after it, and more resources to be supportive, of that effort. And I think Fellow is a terrific manifestation of that reality.